So here at Metro Fire, over the last year and a half, unfortunately, we've had a few of our members, young members, diagnosed with cancer. We've had one member pass away from occupational cancer, and we've had a handful of retirees pass away as well. So here at Metro Fire, it's been a call to action for us, and our fire chief, Adam House, has made member health and wellness a priority agency. And that being said, he formed the new Wellness, Health, and Safety Division, not only to send the message to the members that member health and wellness is a priority and will continue to be a priority, but also to combine all our resources here at Metro Fire so we're all working towards the same goal. Some of the highlights is within that division, we do have the Metro Fire Cancer Task Force, which is in its infancy right now, but the task force is there to put a finer focus on our fight against cancer with education and awareness, prevention, early detection, external engagement, and member liaison. So we're really excited about that moving into 2025. Some of the other highlights is we are heavily involved into preliminary exposure reduction on the fire ground, specifically wet decontamination. We use the storm stick here at Metro Fire, which reduces contaminants by 85% from our members after exiting the fire. We also have our decontamination rig, which is Decon 110, which will respond on every residential and commercial structure fire. And Decon 110 is primarily for gear swap, for PPE swap. So we have spare turnouts, we have extra SCBA packs, and other PPE that the members can swap with. So they're not putting their contaminated gear back into the cab, basically leading to a cleaner cab. So all that being said, we're really excited about those things, but a couple of challenges we do have, which any agency would have, is culture and budget. In regards to culture, it's really trying to change the mindset of the members when it comes to wet decontamination on the scene, when it comes to bringing extra PPE on calls, when it comes to their habits in the station. So we're constantly up against that challenge with changing that culture. And second of all, budget. There's no doubt that the more money that you have, there's more things you can do. But luckily, there's a lot that we can do without extra funding. But one thing we are doing is we're looking towards alternative funding mechanisms, partnerships, grants, and even just here at home with our budget, just reprioritizing member health and wellness and cancer prevention and detection, and looking how that looks with future budgets. So we're very fortunate here at Metro Fire that labor and management are on the same page and are lockstep with each other when it comes to member health and wellness. We have a lot of talented and passionate members on both sides that are working towards the same aim. And so we've been blessed with that. One of the challenges is obviously not duplicating efforts and sharing ideas and collaborating. We spend a lot of time working with a lot of different vendors, resources, and trying to come up with what was going to be best for our members. So we're very fortunate that labor and management are working very well together on that end. So when we talk about early detection, it's really twofold. First of all, there's the education and awareness piece. So we really try to keep our membership informed on what's out there, what's available. We really try to encourage them to get with their primary physician and do the annual checks that you need to do for pre-cancer screening. We also do what we can to provide them with different literature. We bring different vendors here to talk. For example, we had Fire Cancer Support Network here last May with an all hands on deck attendance. So that went very well, discussing best practices. So that's one thing, education, awareness. Second of all, as I mentioned, labor and management are feverishly working together with all the different vendors and resources. There's a myriad of them out there. So finding those resources, vetting them out, and trying to find, what's going to be best for the membership. This last year, we were able to do some comprehensive skin cancer tests for the members, as well as some esophageal pre-cancer screening. We're also looking at possibly new vendor for our physical exams, and that would include pre-cancer screening as well. So we're constantly working on that end between labor and management to bring that screening here to Metro Fire. But of course, educating the members on what they can do in the meantime on the other end.
Awesome.
So when we talk about cancer prevention, a lot of the time we really focus on the fire ground and the exposure reduction that we do, which is critical. And that's going to involve a tremendous amount of leadership from the top to the bottom of the agency. It's going to be a combination of policy, standards, guidelines, and best practices. But an individual really needs to have that 360 mindset because it's not just on the fire ground. It's in the apparatus, it's in the station, it's lifestyle, it's diet and exercise. And each individual is not going to have another person looking over their shoulder, making sure that they're doing all the right things. So, really being your own advocate, having that 360 mindset is going to be critical. It obviously helps to have the leadership there to kind of help guide you along. But, as I mentioned, there are many parts of a member's life or things that they do where they're going to have to be an advocate for themselves. So when it comes to station design, one thing that we're really pleased with and is a big win is that safety has been involved in the station construction and design. We have a seat at the table. We have a voice when it comes to that design of the station, whether that's the hot, warm, and cold zones. Where do we put the turnout room in relation to living areas, traffic patterns, decontamination equipment or decontamination rooms, as well as the different ventilation systems. So we're really excited the fact that we're able to partake in that, and that's just an example of safety and cancer prevention and early detection really being a part of everything we do here at Metro Fire. And that's one thing that we're preaching moving forward, that it needs to be part of everything we do in every corner of the agency. And so the station design is part of that. We're actually designing a new station right now, and safety has had a big voice in what that looks like moving forward. So when we talk about doing it right when it comes to cancer prevention and early detection, it's really truly providing value and not having that checkbox mentality. We're very, very lucky here at Metro Fire that we have a fire chief and a board of directors that is all in on member health and wellness, specifically cancer prevention and early detection. And I can't stress that enough. That's absolutely fundamental and that's key. So we're very thankful for that. Secondly, a thing to keep in mind is that this is a major culture change, not only here at Metro Fire, but for any agency. And it is a work in progress, and it's not going to happen overnight. One thing we like to say is don't let perfect get in the way of good. There's a lot of good that we can do right now with what we have and the budget we have. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit that we can go after. Some of the higher-hanging fruits, such as infrastructure and budget, we may not see that come to fruition for some of us who have been here 15, 20 years, but we have to start with that low-hanging fruit. And so that's part of doing it right, is starting where we can and eventually, setting those goals and setting those visions on where we want to be. But really keep in mind that it is an uphill battle at times. It is a major culture change, but you'll come to find out that most of those members, a vast majority of your members, want that. They want their agency focusing on cancer prevention and early detection.